Hello, Stand Up World, the podcast, episode 16, episode Sweet 16. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Got a lot to talk about today. Just got back from Las Vegas, was at the Great Laugh Factory at the Tropicana Hotel, the dying whale of hotels. I got out. Had a great time with the legend that is Rich Hall and my buddy Harris Pete. And what can I tell you? I heard as I was leaving that John Hinckley is going to be playing. He's performing around the country. He's going to be coming to Vegas. Wow. John Hinckley, for those of you who don't know, is the guy that tried to kill and put some bullets into former President Reagan. Spent a lot of years in jail, Mr. Hinckley, and is out now. He paid his debt to society and is now wants to be a musician, singer-songwriter. And people are going to see him. They're paying tickets. He's drawing. I don't know. If I paid a ticket to see John Hinckley, one of the first things I would ask myself is, let's hope he's better at singing than he was at killing people. Because he wasn't that good at that. Because Reagan survived. But that's me. Everybody deserves their shot. Reagan took a couple of his. And now old John Hinckley is here tonight to sing his tale of woe for your listening pleasure. How was John Hinckley? Well, he didn't murder. That's for sure. Oh. Anyway, what's going on? My son came with me, or I was there for a few days before, but he came and visited me. My son, the little commie that could. I love my son. He's a good dude. My son doesn't read the news, right or left, but somehow he has the craziest ideas about the world, and I don't know where he's getting them. The internet, his friends, cereal boxes, I have no idea. Like, Dad, I'm sorry, but the simple truth, whether you want to believe it or not, is that Barack Obama did not actually land on the moon. It didn't happen no matter what he says. Okay. Also, Dad, Donald Trump personally gave classified documents to Adolf Hitler. This is true. It's been verified. I've personally seen photos of him handling documents to Hitler. Here's another thing people don't know, Dad. I've heard this from someone I trust, okay? John F. Kennedy is alive. He's been kept alive for years in a secret area of the West Wing of the Waffle House. He's a good kid. He just he's got some friends. I don't know who we hear some of this shit from. He's all in on the talking point of the left, though, that's for sure. You know, Dad, the entire planet has 12 years left to live. It's like, oh, fuck you. Joe Biden has more time than that. Our son showers with a mask on. He's going out tomorrow to have his 10th booster shot. You know, it's like, are you messing with me and you're just like a heroin addict? No, Dad. These are the needle tracks of a concerned citizen. These are the needle tracks of a heroin addict. He is a little commie, though. My son identifies as a 1917 Bolshevik. He thinks the government should send everyone a monthly Happy Meal. He thinks everyone should get a check that covers rent, phone, healthcare, groceries, and then come with a little toy inside. When he was a kid, he used to always say to me, "Dad, I don't think it should be illegal for anyone to have ever more than $1 million." I mean, $1 million is enough, Dad. Nobody needs more than $1 million. And when he was in his teens, it was like, Dad, no one ever needs more than $2 million. You know, he adjusted for the things he wanted. In his early 20s, it was, Dad, nobody ever needs more than, okay, $5 million. Now that he's almost 30 and has a lot of big dreams, he's a tax the rich guy. He wants to leave room for his people to get rich. He wants to pass a bill that if you're under 40, or if you're black, brown, Asian, gay, or handicapped, you can make as much money as you want and pay 0 taxes. You just have to sign a paper that admits that Bill Clinton was born in Kenya. That's all he wants. God love the guy. He's going out to see John Hinckley in concert tomorrow night. What can I do? He's my boy. You got to love your kids. And I do love them. Anyway, yes, I had a great week in Vegas. God forbid one of these hotels just is a little rundown place, The hotel I was at, the Tropicana, has not been rebuilt. Was the only one that hasn't been rebuilt in the last decade or so, and it's just shaking in its boots. You could just feel the entire place feels insecure because it just knows someone's going to level it in about a minute. But if you're ever in Vegas and you want to go to a great comedy room, the Laugh Factory is in the Tropicana. It's really the only reason to go to the Tropicana. There's really no restaurants there. There's barely. But the Laugh Factory is a great comedy room. I'm going to be, I'm not sure which weeks. I believe the last weekend in February, I'm at Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston. I'm really excited about it. It's actually the very first comedy club that I'm headlining in like 28 years. My first comedy club to headline since I've been back. And used to headline all the clubs all across the country. I was actually one of the first comedy club headliners in this country. But I'm going to be back doing it again. Nick's Comedy Stop is what I believe it's called. It is. And I'll be there in Boston. Tell you about a few things on standupworld.com that are up right now. There's a piece on Rich Hall, who, by the way, I know most of you probably know who Rich Hall is, but if you don't, I just worked with him for a week, and he is so funny. He's really one of the funniest guys I know. He's just hysterical. I was laughing so hard at this guy. And he's a former SNL guy. He was on Fridays years ago and not necessarily the news. He kind of became famous first doing this thing called Sniglets. And he had books about the Sniglets, I guess, Sniglets were things that really had no words for. But he also was on Letterman, and I guess Matt Groening said at one point that the character Moe on Simpson was kind of inspired by Rich. He's kind of a grouchy guy. But then he went to London. He moved to London years ago, and he's huge in London. I was walking the streets in London with him. We went to dinner not long ago, and everybody was coming up to him. And I mean, he plays theaters in London, in England, all over England. And he's just, he plays the Edinburgh Festival every year. And He's written plays that he does over there, and he's just huge there. Here's a little example of some stuff from Rich Hall.
You ever meet someone famous and you tell your friends, and then they say, well, what was he like? Because all they really want to hear is that he was a prick. That's why they like to say Tom Cruise is the nicest guy in Hollywood. And I always think, well, if I was making $8 million a film, I'd be nice too. Jesus Christ. But I'm not sure he is that nice. Because I always read these articles about how he's so insular and he's into his Scientology and he, stays at a hotel, won't make eye contact with anyone in the hotel because he doesn't want to talk about the plots to his new films. Apparently, as if staring Tom Cruise in the face, he would just crack under pressure. What are you staring at? Hey, you want to hear about my new film? Ever seen a Tom Cruise film like he couldn't figure out the plot in about 18 seconds? Oh, Christ. He's a cocktail maker. He's a pretty good cocktail maker, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence and can't make cocktails anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better cocktail maker. A riveting piece of cinema that was. Then he's a race car driver. Pretty good race car driver, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence. Can't race cars anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better race car driver. Then he's a jet pilot. So you're starting to see a pattern emerge here. Pretty good jet pilot? Yes, he was. But he had a crisis of confidence, couldn't fly jets anymore. Then I believe he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better jet pilot.
Yeah, Rich Hall. Check him out on the internet. Or I believe he's opening for John Hinckley next week, too. So you can see him there. But if you ever get a chance to see Rich Hall live, please do. Another thing up on standupworld.com today is a little slug that I put up for my buddy Andrew Santino's new special, Cheeseburger, which is fantastic. And Santino, if you don't know about Santino, you're missing out because he's really probably the hottest new comic in the country right now. He's on fire. He really is. And he has this new special, Cheeseburger. Here's a little snippet from Cheeseburger.
I love my dog, and she's incredible. She's also a little bit of a pervert. I'm not going to lie. It's disgusting. She's so weird. Whenever we start hooking up, I can hear her collar jingling down the hallway like a prison guard with the keys when they know the boys are being bad, like... Whenever we start hooking up, she'll start running to the room and we have to close her out. But still, she's persistent. You'll hear her under the crack of the door just like a detective. It's twisted. The moment we're done hooking up, I'll open the door. The dog will come in the room, jump on the bed, and go right to the wet spot. And she's like, get her off the bed. And I'm like, let Scruff McGruff figure out the crime. Who done it, Scruff? Was it the ginger general with the lead pipe in the ballroom? Who did it?
I also want to say he's got a great podcast, Whiskey Ginger, which is one of my favorite podcasts. Here's a little something from Whiskey Ginger.
Rick?
No,
Chris got a phone call from the people downstairs at a chandelier store, which isn't a real store, by the way. Obviously, a front.
It's a mob
How many
front.
fucking chandeliers? Who's buying chandeliers?
0 people.
You ever bought a
Literally
chandelier?
0 people. No.
You have, though. I shouldn't even.
I have 3 chandeliers in my house right now.
Describe them.
Sure. In the entryway.
What's called a?
The foyer.
Foyer.
I
Or a
have,
vestibule.
No.
All right.
A kind of a Art Deco bulb situation.
Beautiful.
In the bedroom, I have a beautiful crystal kind of glass situation.
In the bedroom.
And then over in the dining room, I have a much more modern circular light situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Now, what's your lighting situation in your place, Joe?
No chandeliers.
LED strips?
I'm not allowed to have. Yeah.
Joe lives over LED strips underneath the bed.
Joe lives over a dumpling shop.
I'm not
Bobby
allowed,
lives below you.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to have anything that I would be able to hang myself from.
No, let me tell you something. No, let me jump in here. Joe's actually he's got his apartment's small, but honestly, you have one of the tidiest Like you have the way you have your apartment set up. You have so much stuff and it's organized so well that it's almost like a little like when you walk into his apartment, you're like, wow, this guy's got his shit together.
I like how you talk about me like I'm a man that was released from some sort of program that's able to now function on his own.
Yeah. Were you? Were you a little bit?
Might have been. Yeah.
I mean,
yes, I'm the only one of the three of us that does not have a house.
Yeah.
Do you clean?
Look at his curl. It looks like a pigtail.
I just
And another podcast that I love that he has, his second podcast is with my buddy Bobby Lee called Bad Friends, which we actually did a little piece on this on the Comedy Store documentary.
Like with kids and stuff, right? You have a baby on the way.
Yeah.
You have 2 now, George.
Yep.
And in your head, you have dreams for them, correct?
Oh, big dreams.
Right. It's never going to work out.
never.
They're going to go the opposite direction. And I can almost
No, my
predict-
son is on the CEO track. That's my plan for him.
No, his son, what do you think?
Artist.
No.
What is his son going to turn into?
Yeah, I think his son is going to turn into...
Janitor?
Maybe.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. So. But
CEO of a janitor company, I might allow.
Well,
he's on the entrepreneur track.
He might be the janitor of a CEO's office. Like he might clean
No,
a CEO's
he's the
office.
janitor at Netflix corporate, but he tells girls that he works for Netflix.
And kind of he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's that douchebag.
Right.
Right?
He's
So
cleaning
that's
up.
That's good. That's
So your
good.
son's going to be a janitor.
A janitor at Netflix. Your
Okay.
daughter is going to what?
Only fair.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Go to Stand Up World and look at the piece on Andrew Santino. Finally, want to do a shout out to my comedy god / hero, John Hinckley. No, sorry. I'm sorry. I got to get off this kick. Louie CK. January 28th, live streaming from Madison Square Garden. I have the details up on standupworld.com or just go to Louie CK. But you can live stream the show and then watch it for 10 days after. It's an amazing show. He did the same set at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, and it was fantastic. But Louie CK is on. He's in the moment. This is his second time. His moment in time right here. I know he's taking a year off after this. So, but he's worked really hard on this set, and Louie is the GOAT. I'm sorry. Not looking to start a range war between him and Chappelle and Hinckley, but Louie's the GOAT. I love him. So go and check it out. January 28th, stream it live. Go to louieck.com and go to Netflix and watch Cheeseburger and look up my pal Rich Hall on the interweb and go see my favorite presidential would-be assassin because he didn't succeed. He's a failure, John Hinckley. But I know he is a wonderful little singer-songwriter. I just sense it. Ooh. Come see me at Nick's Comedy Stop last week in February in Boston. Ask not what Mike Binder can do for you. Ask what you can do for Mike Binder. Visit standupworld.com. And that's it. Episode 16. Keep it short, keep it sweet. Get in, get out. You're the best. Thank you so much. Visit standupworld.com. Sign up for my weekly newsletter. See you next week.